Hi, this is Kevin. So about 7.5 years ago, when I was in pretty bad shape going through my first bout with Pemphigus Vulgaris, I made a video called Pemphigus Vulgaris Sucks, or PV Sucks, and it went largely unnoticed. And something's happened recently um, that all of a sudden people are seeing it. It's gotten into the algorithms and whatnot. And so I thought maybe I would just do a kind of quick update of where I'm at right now. I appreciate all the kind thoughts and everything like that. Obviously, if you watch that video, I was in pretty bad shape. You can see me getting better if you watch the subsequent PV Sucks and PV The Aftermath, or I can't remember what I called, but I did what I called them, but I did about 3 videos, I think 3 or 4 out there. And for me, it took a couple years, and I was relapsing about as fast as my body could. I would get my infusions that would take care of it, and about as fast as my body could start generating the bad cells again, or the bad T cells, or whatever it did. And now at this point, I've been over 5 years without a relapse. But that hasn't been easy. And so first off, whatever I say here is my story. Doesn't mean it's going to be yours. If you have PV and you're going through it, don't interpret it that way. This is just what occurred to me. And so, in that PV Sucks video, I am just starting to feel the psychological effects of prednisone, and I had a very, very bad mental reaction to it. You hear more about it in the videos after that, but at the time I filmed that first one that most people have been watching, I wasn't aware of it yet. Another thing in that video that I didn't mention at the time because it didn't seem relevant, but as I realize now, is I was going through divorce. I literally was going through PV, getting diagnosed and all that as I was going through a divorce of, the mother of my children. I was married for 16 years. And so it was really a really tough time. I went through a lot of hell for a long time. I had a very stressful career, and trying to maintain it, I realized after, I don't know, a year and a half or so, I just couldn't. I tried to open up a restaurant. Boy, was that ever a mistake. And eventually I came to the realization that my body couldn't handle stress. I couldn't be the person that I was prior to all of this, and that I had to change because that part wasn't going to change. I had a number of years of not really understanding what was happening to me medically. Just a lot of weird effects that I had, but that's kind of the biggest one. I don't know a better way to describe it. Anyways, long story short, about 3 years ago now, I guess, maybe 4 years ago now, I finally received a diagnosis of a neurological disorder called POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. It's one of the biggest things that happens. Mine didn't come from COVID. But that's that long COVID people are getting, and I don't have a lot of the normal effects of it where I'm able to walk around. I don't get super dizzy. If you read up about it, basically staying well hydrated and electrolyte water took care of most of that for me. But my body stress reactions, my adrenaline responses in my body are messed up and will be forever. So for me, in order to get to the stable place that I pretty much am today, especially as it relates to the PV, I had to give up my career. I had to change how I focus right now. I mean, I went from being a pretty high-powered, high-dollar executive recruiter, placing directors and vice presidents with major food corporations around the country, to now I Uber for a living. Probably taken a pay cut of about 80%, 90%. But I've rechanneled life, and it's a struggle. I've gone through a lot of mental health issues from it. It's not easy to take a man that should be in his prime and suddenly be like, you can no longer do what you've done. You can no longer really earn a living. You can no longer provide for your family in the manner that you are. And the person that I was always someone that, give me a challenge, I'll do more. Put a challenge in front of me, and I will just keep working at it and working at it and working at it until I get it done. And I've had to change a lot, and it's been very, very difficult, and I still struggle with that part. And I have insane fatigue. I have a diagnosis of chronic fatigue syndrome, but it's one of those things that goes hand in hand with POTS. And these things get to me a lot, but I little by little, and with my current therapist, has helped me a lot to find ways to rechannel, to ground, to be able to look back at other times and be able to feel them a little bit better, and other things like that. And I'm getting married in September, and I couldn't love her more. She'll kill me if I say her name on social media, so I'm not going to do that, but really looking forward to that. And so, folks, that's kind of what's happened here. I'm now a almost 54-year-old man who drives an Uber and, lives a life of having a number of chronic disorders that are chronic. They don't get better, and they go through ups and downs. I know that the pemphigus will come back someday. I get a little bit here and there every once in a while, but haven't had anything that's required any kind of medication or treatment. But I know that day will come, and I'll go get an infusion and get my, that part of my immune system knocked out again. But all I can say, if I'm going to try to end this on some kind of a great inspirational note, is, life throws you things, and trying to fight them doesn't always work. And so sometimes you have to give in and sort of try to change yourself and find the upsides of that. And mostly I do that. I stay a pretty happy person 3/4 of the time, and try to enjoy the things that I still can and the things that matter, and try not to let it get to me when I can't do the things that I want to do, and when it bothers me. So anyways, that's it. If you're interested, if people start following me, I'll keep making videos, and if you have any questions, I try to answer all of them when they come through. And that's it. But I'm just a guy with pemphigus and POTS and chronic fatigue and a slew of other things that all come from POTS. Anyways, that's it, and peace out.